out. And that's why the guy had to do
Every day. My old man was like, he said to me, Art, I promise, I'll sign something that you won't get arrested. Just fucking take an axe to my head.
Tell that to Dr. Kevorkian.
Oh, no.
At one point, he told me, just leave a bunch of pills on I'll somehow get them in my mouth. He said, you won't have to put them in my mouth.
Wow. He was serious, right?
He was thinking of every
Dead serious. I was like, how could you put me through that? You know.
Did he just eventually die or on his own, or they helped him?
Oh, God.
What, did he get an infection or something?
Well, he still would get bed sores, and he got a bad bed sore that was down to the bone, so he had to go to the hospital. The day he died, he was scheduled to go into the hospital in Newark for like 4 weeks. And the ambulance showed up to get him, and I went down to let the guy in. They were doing their thing, and then I went upstairs, and I was getting ready to go to work. At the time, I was working construction. And one of the guys came upstairs and said, hey, listen, we got to call, the cops. I think your father's dead. And, I went downstairs, and he was gone. And my mother, they had called my mother first, and she came home. By that time, she was crying. And before I got to him, she came to me and hugged me and said he's gone and everything. But my mother, to this day, thinks he offed himself somehow.
Really?
He had a lot of crazy friends he grew up with in Newark who were still in his life a little bit. And she thinks the timing was just too crazy, that he was about to go to the hospital, which he considered like a sentence. And my mother thinks that he somehow got them a key to our house, and a guy came in and
smothered him or something?
Gave him pills.
Really?
There was no autopsy.
Well, how did that occur?
The cops wrote it off as a natural death.
Yeah, when you're under medical care, a lot of times like that, you don't necessarily have to have an autopsy because you were, seeing doctors and stuff all the time. Anyway.
Right. And he had a bed sore, and he was diabetic. There was a ton of complications. He was, sick.
So they probably figured this. And if there was foul play, hey.
My mother didn't think of it till later, and she was putting 2 and 2 together. And there was one guy who he was friends with, this nutty guy who she thought might have had something to do with it. He's dead now, the guy. But the guy had done time and everything. He was a guy my old man grew up with. And my mother to this day thinks that's what he did.
Did he come to visit, that guy?
Yeah, he was over. I know he was and everything.
Well, you know what?
Weird time.
They helped him out.
I think, look, everybody who I talked to, my uncles, everybody had the same. They said, your father asked me to do the same thing.
Right. Well, you can't blame him. That's tough. When someone's pulling shit out of your ass, that's the bottom of the barrel.
I couldn't blame him either, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
No, of course not. You couldn't live with it. You couldn't live with it.
It would be nutty.
It's good you didn't.
Right. Because there's a couple nights I came home loaded, and I was like, well, maybe I'll just do him a favor. Because it's funny, now that I think back, the night he died, I went over to my buddy's house. We went out to shoot pool. And before I left, he said to me, and I would go out a lot, and he said to me, hey, come here. And I said, what? He goes, sit down and talk to your old man for a little while. He never did that. And then...
then you're probably right.
As I was leaving, he said, where are you going? I said, I'm going over to Mike's. We're going to go shoot pool at this pool I used to go to. And he said, here, give me your hand. And he took my hand, and he brought it up to his face, which he couldn't do, and he kissed me. And he said, I love you. And he rarely did that.
How did he bring your hand up to your face?
He had, he could, do this.
He could move his arm.
Yeah, a little bit like this, but he couldn't grab anything.
Right.
So he would hit my hand, and then I helped, and I put my hand to his face, and he kissed it, which he never did. Every once in a while, he'd say he loved me, but that was a rare,
Right.
And he said, I just want I love you. And I was like, I love you, too. You all right? And I left. And I got home at 4 in the morning. And that's it. Yeah, but when my mother mentioned it, I said, fuck, you know what? You're right, man. I told her that story, and she's like... She never thought about taking criminal action against the guy.
Why would you? Yeah.
We only suspected it, too. It was just a total...
That story says it all.
Yeah.
The old man was saying goodbye to you.
He, without question, did that.
Do you wish he just sat there longer now?
Well, I was fucking... Yeah, I wish I didn't go out, because I came home about 4 in the morning. I would check him, and he looked peaceful and stuff. And then I went up, and I had to get up the next day. I went to bed, and... it was... I tried to remember. I racked my brain. What's the last fucking thing I said to him,
If this is too personal a question, don't answer it. But how'd you do at the pool game that night?
I think I lost $80. We used to shoot... I was addicted to a 9-ball for a long time. And at that time, I was playing 9-ball every night. Yeah, I love it. And, I think I lost $80.